This is Outnumbered. I'm Andrea Tantaros, and here with us today, Harris Faulkner, Jedediah Bila, host of Money with Melissa Francis on our sister network, Fox Business's Melissa Francis. And today...
I got Green Beret backup, though.
You do?
Green Beret pants.
Are they here? Oh, I thought you meant actual Green Berets. I was going to say, are they here? Are they single? Are they cute? Where are you hiding them in the studio?
Like that
they're
somehow.
2 out of the 3, but they're not in the room.
Yeah, well,
welcome. Good to have you back.
Good to be here.
You ready for this news cycle? Because it's busy.
It's a busy news cycle.
We got the State of the Union.
Yeah, right?
We've got a lot of stuff happening. Plus a segment on Do Men Talk More Than Women, which I'm sure you'll have a lot of opinions
4
about.
to 1. How am I going to even win?
And now I'm going to ask you to stop talking because I've got to talk now. My turn. All right, tonight, or tomorrow night, I should say, President Obama will deliver his State of the Union address. All right, so there's the politics of this, but then there's the policy, David, of what President Obama is actually proposing. Going to leave the policy for the rest of the couch, but I want to start first. Yes, thank you. Start crunching those numbers.
I'm
thank
ready.
you. David, I want to start with what's even real. Is because you have a Republican-led Congress that isn't going to bite on any of this. That's what they're saying. So here we have President Obama yet again going after the rich, giving his income inequality sort of yearly address, let's say.
And the politics of this is to sell a narrative, middle class, whether they have $100 or $1,000 in their checking account, not the people doing well in America.
At the tax on medical devices as well, and trying to maybe see if good for the party.
I mean, what I took away from that poll is you see really big numbers under everyone's. I mean, I think it all comes down to money, and that there's going to be behind the scenes.
I wanted the moderate to win, and I know that he is a man who does not like the mushy middle.
Follow the money, and the money is not going to move till next May.
I agree with you, my friend.
Well,
he would say, no, you are pulling for the mushy middle, and I hate the mushy middle.
I'm not saying the mushy middle. I'm saying that right on a run when we haven't done anything, the American people haven't seen. On the other side of this, we're having a fight over whether it's a moderate versus someone else. We, the pundit class, if you want to.
I definitely think they're on the party. Now, the fact of Jeb Bush running against Mitt Romney, someone tweeted out, yes, a Romney-Bush primary would be really exciting, said no person ever. I really do not think that anybody in the party is excited, really getting their toes curling over either of those two. Look, Mitt Romney, not a good candidate. I always recall the story when he ran for Senate in Massachusetts, and he was allowed to ask Senator Ted Kennedy, what would you do about the glass ceiling? Kennedy just busted out laughing. It was his one shot to take down Kennedy, and he couldn't do it. It speaks to the fact that he would make a great president, Harris, but he's not a strong candidate because he is mushy.
Well, that's what I mean when I say
you
need, you need a front man. And here's the thing, we have not had.
And I thought this was brilliant because you said before you start talking about the presidential election, you got to. In the first quarter of this year, I'm going to raise $500,000.
Hang on a second. Oh, it's full already.
You're not excited about that? I mean, he's got a plan.
Their fault for staying home. If you don't want to come out in the end and
ever is going to stand up. Back.
Although I don't think Chris Christie's going to run. I'm going to make that little prediction right here on this couch right now.
Then he can save his red sweater for another foot.
Look at the polls. It's the reaction, and it's that loud minority rather than a very proud of what we have done, reversing colonial racism and
office. But when you look at this polling, and there's wider polling than this, because Rasmussen also took a look at this. It's not just one Gallup poll, but there's wider polling on where people really feel where race relations is. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think, look, the election of Barack Obama was a huge moment for the African-American community, and to his credit,
for all of America,
whether you agree with what President Obama believes or not, you have to admit he has done a lot of good. He gives a very aspirational goal, I think, for a lot of young black men, and he's, I think, a terrific role model, at least as a father and a good husband. I know people don't want to hear that. David's shaking his head, but I got to give him credit there. What I will not give him credit for is he said that he was going to heal this country. And I think a lot of people expected something different. I didn't, because I read all his books and knew where he was going to go and divide the country, and that's how he's advanced his career. I think race relations are worse than they ever have been. And to Melissa's point, if you look at the facts and the numbers, more people are on food stamps, more people are dependent on the government. Don't take my words. Look at the Congressional Black Caucus. They have stood up numerous times and said, Mr. President, you promised us a lot of things and you've forgotten us. So I do think that he promised to focus on those groups, and he has left them behind.
I've got to disagree with Andrea on this, though, for a moment.
Got to get Jedediah in here, David.
Some feel, you know, that I hear a lot of...
We have people who can misuse that ability or use political political power.
But that's the downside.
And that's the politics.
That's the politics,
Yeah.
but unfortunately,
All right.
America's better than all of this.
You know, when I was growing up in
All right, first of all,
I love her.
I want to know why my makeup artist Stephanie did not use that green lipstick on me today to match my dress. I'll talk to her after the show. That was Glozell, comedian and so-called queen of YouTube, just one of the 3 YouTube stars who will interview President Obama following tomorrow's State of the Union address. Joining her. So much for that Super Bowl interview with Bill O'Reilly, Jedediah. I guess either Bill's not cool enough, he's going to ask tough questions, but isn't that it, Jedediah? He doesn't want to ask, or get asked, I should say, the tough questions, and he goes where he's perceived that he's
lucky guy.
That would be awesome.
We got to see how you're right here.
Are you kidding?
But also deal with unconventional outlets that speak.
She's doing the voice.
And by the way,
I'm from the Valley, by the way. I
She's
originally
doing
grew
the
up in
voice.
San
I
Fernando
love
Valley.
it.
by the way, we did see some footage of President Obama working out. Remember that footage of him working out? So maybe he could use a couple fitness tips. Although, Harris, you're in the news business. When you look at some of the questions that he's gotten from the White House press corps, remember that what enchants you, what delights you.
What's your favorite movie?
They haven't exactly been that hard either.
Look, I think this is about 2 things. For one, out to future voters, okay?
Yeah.
And when he leaves, he's got my pre-blow bar hair.
We get some serious questions answered. No offense to Glozell and her green lipstick. A smartphone app created specifically,
Gentlemen, and our women, how many women are not gentle women?
I wouldn't be surprised because I wouldn't be talking to them.
Well, I tell you what, I've opened doors, set standards higher. The standards need to be that you get an 80.
With 3 words.
Yeah, but you know
didn't
what's
need
sad?
to know what they were. You just had to know how to count to 3, and you got it right. I mean, the test is even worse than you.
Harder than the
Exactly.
immigrants.
All right, guys. Well, we are staying right here for Outnumbered Overtime on the web, foxnews.com/outnumbered, and click the Overtime tab. We're back on TV tomorrow at noon Eastern. Happening now. Starts right now.